Welcome, welcome, dear friends. We're happy to have you here with us again on our new edition of our webinar series. Today, we're going to be traveling to a natural marvel, a South American icon that most of us will want to see once in their lifetime, at least I do, Iguazu, the Iguazu waterfalls. We're going to have experts from both of our Argentina and Brazil offices with us today here explaining everything we need to know about this destination. Since it's a destination that it's combined through these two countries in operation, there are some details and some particularities that we need to understand to make the best out of our itineraries for our clients. So we will have Martin Perez, the country manager of the Argentina office, and Marcelo Patelli, our country manager from Condor Travel Brazil office, presenting today with us. And also Carlos Barros, CEO of Condor Travel Brazil, will be on the Q&A and as well also talking and sharing his experience and his knowledge about the destination with us. And also supporting on the Q&A team, we'll have Carlos Moutinho, our sales supervisor from Condor Travel Brazil, and Sebastian Southwell, account executive from Condor Travel Argentina. Thank you very much, guys, for being with us here today and for sharing all your knowledge and all your passion about the destination. So without further ado, I want to leave you guys with Marcelo, who's going to introduce us to the webinar for today. Hi, Marcelo, how are you?
Hi, Maze. Fine. I hope everyone else are good today. And once again, I want to thank you, everyone, for giving us their time to learn about this marvelous. That if there's something that Brazilians and Argentinians agree, I can point out two things: the marvelous of Iguazu Falls and the greatest football player Pelé. Right, Martin? Okay, well, let's share. Okay, let's go on. I think everyone else is waiting for this, so let's start right now. Okay, perfect. We're talking yesterday about of our presentation, how to show all the magic and the impact of this attraction, which is Iguazu Falls. And we believe that nothing better than a video can show you all, and you can feel what is to be there. So let's go on. Take this moment to make your trip.
Audio, Carlos.
Marcelo, your mic is off.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I shut off so you can enjoy the natural sounds of Iguazu Falls. So yeah, this is amazing. This is very impressive. And just to give you a position where Iguazu Falls is located, this is the South American map. Iguazu Falls is right there in Argentina. So
Marcelo, again, your microphone is out.
oh my goodness, sorry for that again. So now you hear me, and I want to hear Martin about what he thinks about this attraction that we share. It's the location is right there on your left side, between Brazil and Argentina. You know, we're gonna mention the main attractions during this presentation: the Iguazu Falls itself, the Itaipu Dam, Macuco Safari attraction, which is adventure experience that we're gonna talk more about further. Birdie Park and the helicopter and so on, many other attractions. So Martin, your impressions?
Yes, well, hello everyone. I think that when Marcelo was explaining where Iguazu Falls is located, he was his microphone was mute, so nobody heard. So just to go over that, Iguazu Falls is just in the border between Argentina and Brazil. So it's something that we share. We are both very proud of sharing this attraction. So this is something that you can ask and operate with any of our offices in either Argentina or Brazil, as we can both operate all services despite in which side of the border is located either the hotel or the service or the national park. So going to as for how many nights or which is the ideal stay, well, I would say that it's worth staying at least 2 nights. Yeah, as you will see in this presentation, there are enough attractions and enough things to do, so I have to stay 3 nights as well, or even longer. But well, at least we will suggest and expect everyone to stay 2 nights, because it's worth spending these 2 nights here in this destination. Iguazu Falls could be visited all year round. Yes, it's a destination that it doesn't matter which time of the year you are, you will enjoy it. And it's also a destination that it fits any kind of client and any kind of passenger. So someone on his honeymoon or family trips, retired people, elder people, young people as well, someone that is looking for adventure or even for incentives. So it's a great destination that could everyone will enjoy it. Yeah, it doesn't matter if they are on their own, or in a family or whatever, they will enjoy the destination because it's a great place to visit. So now we can move to the next slide. Well, that's the location, the 2 countries that we mentioned. And now Marcelo will explain about this temperature and everything else.
Yeah, sorry, because every time I click the mouse, my microphone goes to a mute. So let's go back here. Okay, well, we are a tropical country, so the temperature here, the average temperature is very mild. I mean, we have a good climate all year round. Our winter is not that intense, so visitors can be comfortable any time of the year. Also, I like to mention the average rainfall, because this is very important to keep the waters running. So it does rain a lot, especially close to the woods, but still, it doesn't spoil your experience. Remember, you're in a wet environment, so that's what makes it good. So also, we have these average daylight, good average daylight all year round. The minimum is 10 hours, so you have long days all year round. So let's talk about how to get there. So we have two airports, of course, because we share this border. And so on the Brazilian side, we have Foz do Iguaçu Cataratas International Airport, which is close to the national park and very close to downtown as well. So the hubs that connect Foz do Iguaçu to the world are mostly known as São Paulo is the main hub for South America, Rio de Janeiro as well, Brasilia, especially for flights that comes from North America, like Copa Airlines, that has like 8 different destinations in Brazil. Campinas, which is served by Azul, Salvador, Recife, also Santa Cruz de la Sierra, Bolivia, and Lima, right? Flights from Lima. And this is on the Brazilian side of the falls. Marky?
Yes, well, and the same in the Argentina side, we have our own airport, which is pretty much called the same. It's a very similar name. So it's located in Puerto de Iguaçu, which is the local town in Argentina. Actually, it's 30 minutes from downtown and only 15 from the national park, yeah, in the Argentina side. It's connected to Buenos Aires, Mendoza, Cordoba, Rosario, and other main cities in Argentina. There are 4 different airlines that fly to that airport. And till March, at least, there was a new flight from Air Europa, flying 2 times a week from Madrid to Iguazu Airport directly, which was a great thing. Well, we will find out in a couple months if that's something that is going to continue after this issue and this situation with the virus. But it was a great thing to have a direct flight from Europe to Iguazu. So that's how you get here. Actually, from Buenos Aires and the same from Mendoza and Cordoba, it takes about 1 hour and a half to get from these cities to Iguazu Airport.
Man,
so we can move to the next one.
Good to remember. Yeah, the connect flights in time in Brazil, it's also about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half at most, since we like round country. So let's move. Here we decide to show you a perspective on where are located both national park. So on the right side, you have the Argentinian side of the Cataratas, of the Iguazu Falls. On your left-hand side, you have Brazilian side. So see, we share the space. So let's explain a little bit of each. Moving to the Brazilian side of the Iguazu Falls, we have visitor centers right in the beginning, and then we take this little road into the site that can only be done by local buses, or in case of condor travel, we use our own cars there. And to take you at the disembark point in front of the Belmont Hotel. From there, you take the trail down to the river. So there you can see the Devil's Gorge and all the falls there. It's important to say that it's very accessible. This whole way down, you have an elevator on the right side that takes the handicapped people down, so they can also enjoy the place. Also, just to give you a picture where one of the major attraction is located, Macuco Safari is right over here. So see, it's everything inside the park. I know Carlos knows about a lot of this park. I think Carlos is the Brazilian that most visit the Iguazu Falls and in history. So Carlos, can you tell us something about your experience there?
Sure. It is actually, speaking about Iguazu, it is very easy, and it is really very beautiful. It's one of my favorite places in the world. Yes, I've visited Iguazu for more than 100 times, and I never get tired of it. It is always a big positive feeling all this amount of water surrounded by this greenery. It's absolutely wonderful. And also, I think it's inevitable to answer some questions that we normally receive when we talk about Iguazu Falls. Many people ask us how to compare it to Niagara, another colossal wonder nature. And there are a few differences that I normally point out. Number one, Iguazu Falls is in the middle of two national parks. So it is surrounded by nature, open air, pure air. Number two, the volume of water on Iguazu Falls is almost double of the volume of water of Niagara Falls. The height of Niagara Falls is 30 meters less than Iguazu Falls. Iguazu Falls is about 85 meters, and Niagara is about 50 something. But what is the most impressive aspect that make it this big difference between these two beautiful waterfalls are that in Iguazu Falls, we have about 275 falls altogether. And this is absolutely amazing. And as you could see from the previous slide, 80% of the falls are on the Argentinian side. Actually, the falls is 80% Argentinian. And from Brazil, what we have is a panoramic and wonderful view of all these 275 falls. So, which means that going to, as Martin said, this is for us one destination only. It happens that there is a line that divide these in two countries, but it is one destination only, that you have to see it all. There is no choice of what side is the better. Both sides are wonderful, and both sides must be seen. Martin, at the beginning, was mentioning that the stay in Iguazu, minimum stay would be two nights. Yes, this is what normally, especially during the combination of the places you have to visit, normally people today allocated 2 nights for Iguazu Falls, but I highly recommend and highly encourage to add it one more night. You will see by the end of this presentation that Iguazu has enough content to really make anyone for any profile from any part of the world enjoy it properly. And to enjoy it properly, try to really plan it for 3 nights. I will pass my word to PATELLI, Marcello PATELLI. Otherwise, I will be keeping talking here, and it's not. I love it so much that it's so easy for me to speak about. Go ahead, PATELLI.
You're always welcome, Carlos. Always welcome. And I agree with you 100%. 100%. This is only a single destination, let's say it this way. And we have this privilege to see all the Argentinian side, which is amazing. The strength of nature is well present there. So I'm going to invite you now, Martin, to talk about this side of the Iguazu Falls. Martin, please.
Yes. So, okay, that's the map of the Argentina side of the falls, or the Argentina National Park. So you will start arriving to the to the entrance. Yeah, there is it's not a museum, but it's a place where you get to understand how this was formed, and they explain you the measure and the numbers of the waterfalls. So then you continue. There is a small electric train that takes you to the different points of the national park. So there you see how you take the train to one of the main stations, which is Garganta del Diablo station, Devil's Gore station. And from there you will walk about 2 kilometers through a catwalk that is over the water, till you get to the Devil's Gorge. And what you see when you get there is this picture that over there. So that's the view, and this is how close you get to the Devil's Gorge in the balcony that you have here. So to add to what Carlos was saying, what I'd like to say is that Brazil has a panoramic view of the entire thing from the Brazilian side. So you can have a panoramic view of all these 270 falls that we share. And in the Argentina side, you get wet. Yeah, you get very close to the falls. So for those wondering or asking which is the best side of the park to visit, which one should I pick? Well, I will say that you can pick. You need to visit both. It's worth visiting both because either if it's the same attraction, you have a very different experience from one side and the other. So we'll get back on the train. Or you can also walk through the path in the park. You will get to Cataratas station, and that you have seen there, the red circuit, that's the upper circuit. Yeah, and now you will see a picture that will show you which is the view that you get on this upper circuit. Yeah, so that's the view. So it's not the Devil's Gorge that you have been before in the other picture. This is all the other falls, and the catwalks will take you right over these falls, and you also get wet. You get the spray from the falls. You are very close to it, and the sound of the waterfalls is amazing. So it's a multisensorial experience. It's not only what you see, but it's also what you hear, what you feel when you walk through this path in the middle of the jungle. You will cross with different kind of butterflies, birds, toucans, raccoons, all kind of fauna that you will see while you walk here. So as I said before, to get to the Devil's Gorge, you walk about 2 kilometers. On the upper trail, you will walk around 700 meters. Yeah, and in these two first circuits, Garganta del Diablo or Devil's Gorge and the Superior, it's quite accessible. Yeah, you in the park, if you make a reservation in advance, you can get a special wheelchair. So you will change yours for one that the park supplies, with a different kind of wheels that will make easier to go around these catwalks. Yeah, and then you have a third circuit to visit, which is the lower circuit, the one that you see there. That's a longer one. It takes like 1.5 kilometers, and you will see the waterfalls from below. So that's the kind of view that you will get if you take the lower circuit. So all in all, you can spend a full day tour in the Argentina side that will take in total like 7 hours. This lower circuit is not so accessible like the other ones because you have quite a few steps. So depending on how fit you are, you will take only 2 of the circuits, or if you have the time and you are willing to do it, you can take the entire thing and visit the 3 circuits. And to end, there is also the Macuco Safari that Marcelo mentioned in the Brazilian side. There is a just identical tour in the Argentina side called the Great Adventure. So the main difference between these two is that the Brazilian one is a bit more accessible. It's easy to get for elder people or someone with a disability. The Argentina side, the Argentina tour, includes a 4x4 vehicle for a few miles till you get to the pier, and then you need to go down quite a lot of steps in order to get on the Zodiac that will navigate through the river. So the experience is pretty much the same thing, but if you have someone with some disabilities, maybe it's better to take the Brazilian option because it will be easier. Yeah, so this is the overview of the Argentina side and how you can do it. Yeah, so now we continue with the day tour experiences that Marcelo will explain.
There we go.
So that's the Macuco or the Great Adventure that I was talking about.
Very good, very good. Talking about adventure, right? let's show something about on what you have to do during the daytime in terms of experience. So you can see you have like a full day on the Brazilian side to explore the national park, and then you have other full day to the Argentinian side to explore the Argentinian side. Of course, it all depends on your schedule, but it's very good to learn how you can offer the best of experience for your clients, so you can make choices. Of course, during the daytime we have the Iguazu tours, as we already said, both sides. It's a must, and Condor Travel takes care of all your requirements to get into the park and move around, and always accompanied by our tour guides. So this is some image of the Brazilian trail to get down to the water, as I said. So from the first point, you can see the Devil's Gorge. Also, into the Brazilian side, we have the Birds Park, which is very famous. It's attraction, but also a station of preservation for endemic species. Also, they have another attractions into it, like the backstage experience, where you can feed the animals. At night, you have some other experience we're gonna explain further. The Macuco Safari, as I explained, and Martin also explained pretty well. Yes, to get down the river at the Brazilian side, you have like a cable car to take people down, so it's easier to move around. Also, you have other attractions, other experiences during on the Brazilian side. You can go down in an electric car. You also visit the forest itself. I mean, and you can do some radical experience as well. You can do rafting on both sides, of course. You can do you can do this is the waterfall abseil. You can do besides the canyon ride. This is the Macuco and Gran Aventura. Does the same thing. But you also have more outdoors experience. We're gonna explain a little bit further as well. Itaipu Dam. Itaipu is a huge structure between Brazil and Paraguay. It's almost 8 kilometers of extension. We call the concrete cathedral, and produce clean energy with the like hydroelectric energy. Just to give an example, daily the energy produced in the Itaipu hydroelectric plant, it saves Brazil burning 540 barrels of oil per day. So it's big deal. Also, we offer the scenic helicopter flight. It's amazing. You can miss, because it's the best way to see the falls. I mean, you see from the top. Of course, you won't touch, but you see everything. It's an amazing experience. You can take it from Brazilian side as well. Outdoor experience. One very, very important thing about Iguazu. Almost all the attractions, all the experience you're gonna be involved in, it's outdoors. So you have this direct contact with nature, and you breathe clean air all the time. So this is very important. You see, you can do hiking, you can do biking, you can do trekking on both sides as well. But on the Brazilian side, you have two very famous tracks, which is Bananeiras and Poço Negro, Black Well. Plus, on the Argentinian side, you also have canoeing, you have horse ride, which is amazing, something very good to be done, especially if you're not fit as needed to face the thing. You have the skyline, I mean, adventure on the radical way and soft way. Okay, this is the Poço Negro, the Black Well hide. And also you have the ecological trip on the Argentinian side. You can You can hide on the top of the waterfall. It's amazing. No worries, you won't fall from there. I mean, it's just a very different way to see nature from the waters. And the other way is taking a cruise on the Iguazu River and Paraná River. This is for everyone, every age, and it goes around the two rivers, and you cross. You see Brazil from one side, and you go to Paraguay and come back to Argentina without a visa in this time, okay? And this is this bridge on the top is the bridge Tancredo Neves between Argentina and Brazil, okay? So let's now invite Martin again for the nighttime experiences. Martin?
There. So one thing that I would like to add to before we go into the nighttime experiences, maybe someone is wondering if you are doing this Macuco Safari experience or the Great Adventure, if you are getting wet. Well, you are getting soaked wet. So and that's the best part of it, yeah? So it doesn't matter if you get a rain poncho, it doesn't matter if you have your best coat, you will get wet anyway, because you are going to have your biggest shower of your life, getting with the boat below the waterfall. So you first take the rapids, which is also very fun. These boats can have, well, at least until March. Let's see which are the new protocols, but you could have up to 40 or 50 people on these speedboats, which go through the rapids, and you get finally into the falls. Yeah, so the captain will let you take pictures, do selfies, everything up to the point that he will advise. They will provide you these dry sacks where you can put your electronics and something that you don't want to get wet. And after that, you go into the falls. So when hiring this tour, you should advise everyone that they are going to get wet. Usually, because of the climate, you will get dry pretty soon, unless it's raining. But well, so you have to bear in mind that when you have this tour, you get wet. So if you do it maybe in the afternoon, it's better, because then you're going to your hotel and you're not continue wet for a long time. But well, actually, it's a nice destination, nice weather, so you won't feel uncomfortable by being a little bit wet. So now going into the nighttime experiences. So one of the best things that we have since 3 or 4 years ago is this full moon experience. So this is something that you can also do in both sides of the parks, in the Brazilian and the Argentina side of the park. The difference is that in the Brazilian side, it's only available for those staying in the Belmont Hotel, yeah? So, which is the only hotel inside the national park. Marcelo will explain that later on. In the Argentina side, it's open to anyone, yes? So this is an experience that is done obviously only during the nights when you have a full moon. You get to the park, you will spend there three hours in total. You will go with the train to the Devil's Gorge station. You will walk to the balcony. You will enjoy the falls with the moonlight, and then you will go back to the main station and have the possibility to dine inside the park at La Selva restaurant. So that's one of the experiences for the night. We will move to the next one, which is in the Brazilian side. Is done. It takes place inside the Birds Park, which Marcelo already explained. So this is an experience that takes about 2.5 hours. It includes some snacks and beverages, and you get to visit and to see this local culture, local natives, I would say, and you share with them this time. Yeah, so this is something that you could do in the evening in the Brazilian side. Now we will continue and see another show, but this one is on the Argentina side. It's a tango show that happens in the casino. one of the casinos. In the Argentina side, there are several casinos, but the main one and the most important is the one located at the Grand Iguazu Hotel and Casino. And they offer these tango shows in case someone is not going to Buenos Aires and won't be taking the tango tour there. Then another option in the Argentina side, it's called Argentina Experience. So this is something that there are two Argentina experiences. One is in Buenos Aires, the original one, and it was a success. Then they also put it here in Iguazu, which is a great option. It's a great thing because it's a hands-on experience. You get to learn how to prepare empanadas, which is very typical for us in South America. You try excellent wines, of course, Argentine steak, everything in a very relaxed and fine environment. As well, they will teach you. In Argentina, we have a huge Italian heritage. And as Italians, we can't stop moving our hands when we speak, and each of these gestures have a meaning. They will explain you in a funny way what we mean with these gestures that we make. So it's a nice experience. It's not just going for dinner, it's a nice experience. Then going back to the Brazilian side, we have this other show which is called Rafaim. It has place in a restaurant, so in a buffet restaurant where you have a nice dinner. You will enjoy this folkloric music, or not folkloric, but dances from Brazil and the rest of South America. Dances and music is both things. So this is one of the other options that you have for the evenings, during the evenings. We continue now talking about some of the things that you could do outside the falls. So this is also daytime experiences. Around 3 hours and a half away from Iguazu Falls, from Puerto Iguazu in Argentina, you have these Jesuit missions ruins, which are called San Ignacio Mini. So this is something that could be offered and that could be done in a full day tour from Iguazu for the ones interested in this kind of history and architecture. So this is a nice full day tour that you can take. Then you also have a 3 hours experience, which is similar to the one I already explained in the Brazilian side. But this is in Argentina. You get to visit a community where they live. So you visit the place they live and you get to know how they live, and you can share some experiences with them. You will see how they play the music or they sing. So this is something that you can also experience. And for those that love to go shopping, there are two options. One is a tax-free shopping, which is right in the border in the Argentina side, but very near to the border and to customs. That's one of the options. And the other one is on Paraguay, because the falls are shared between Argentina and Brazil, but Paraguay is also very near. So you can cross another bridge, another border between Brazil and Paraguay and get to Ciudad del Este, which is a city in Paraguay where you will have the main and basically only reason to get there is to go shopping, because there are lots of options to shop different kind of things, electronics and other stuff. So those are the activities outside the falls that you can also do in Iguazu. Microphone.
Sorry. Thank you, Martin. Thank you so much. Very well explained everything. Just to add information about the forest experience on the Brazilian side, it happens only twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday, and it's very limited. Very limited. It's only for 10 people because you're gonna be invited to the Indians' life. So it's not our place anymore. It's there. So it depends on them. So it's very important to explain that. So make sure to do the arrangements for these 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. Let's talk about the. Let me just add another thing about the shopping tours. My personal opinion, I like better do shopping in Puerto Iguazu because the border cross is easier, is simple, is less busy. We're gonna explain a little bit further how does it work? But on the crossing from Brazil to Paraguay is too crowded, too crowded. So this is very important to know as well when you make your choice. Okay. I think my mic closed again. Okay. Let's go for hotels. On the Brazilian side, we have a Belmont Hotel das Cataratas, which is into the national park. It's the only one that works into the park. You know, it's a very, very beautiful complex. It's facing the cataratas right to the Argentina side. You see from your windows. It's a 5-star. It's a Belmont, so that explains everything. Also, we have 4-star hotels in downtown and some closer to the national park as well. But into the park, only one. Okay, just make sure that you know that, especially because if you are on the Brazilian side and want to do the full moon, you won't be able if you're not there in Belmont, and some 3 stars as well. And this time I'd like to hear from Carlos, which is your best hotel, which you like better.
Well, this is very well. It depends on, but I think that the experience of staying at the Belmont is unique.
Yeah.
You know, the advantage of early in the morning, you can, before the park is open, you can walk and see the falls alone, you know, just by yourself. It is it's worthless. I mean, it's no money to pay that. Also, you can stay a little longer, and as you mentioned it, for the full moon visit, for the full moon in the Brazilian side, you can only do it if you stay at the Belmont because the park is closed. So yes, but as you said, the other hotels are very good too. They are not distance from the park. Actually, for any of the hotels we use outside the park to the entrance of the park, it's no more than 20 minutes. Also, they are very close to the airport. So the level of accommodation in Iguazu Falls is very high. We cannot forget that Iguazu Falls is the second most important destination for us in Brazil. Also, is the same for Argentina. So the number of accommodation in Iguazu is huge. It really fits to all pockets, and they are all of very good quality. They all have good facilities, good cuisine. And but yes, if I have to say about my favorite, definitely Belmont or the Meliá on the Argentinian side is also another fantastic option. But yes, I love Belmont too. Yes.
Thank you. You're right. And also, it's important to say that Iguazu is a top destination for mice, so they are well prepared for that as well. Okay, let's move to. Thank you, Carlos. Let's move to the Argentinian side with Marty now.
So, yeah, in the Argentina side, we have the same situation. There is only one hotel inside the national park, which is the Grand Meliá, formerly Sheraton. So that's the only hotel inside the park. All the rest of the hotels are about between 20 and 30 minutes away. So you can of course have 5, 4, 3-star hotels, also lodges, as you can see there. Now we have a quite new one, is Awasi from the same line you have in Chile. So it's a amazing lodge with a all-inclusive experience. But also something very important is the location of the hotels, because as I said, you have only one inside the national park, and all the rest are either on a piece of jungle close to Puerto Iguazu city or in the city. So, for example, La Cantera, which is mentioned there, as well as Mercure or Lois Suites Iguazu, those hotels are located in the middle of the jungle. So you will be surrounded by nature. From your room, you will be seeing all the vegetation that you have there, and you will hear the sounds of the jungle. Yeah, and then you have Jardín de Iguazú, Panoramic Grand, and the Iguazu Grand with the casino, those are in the city. So the distance is not more than 7 to 10 minutes, but the location in the city is different to the ones in the jungle. Yeah, so those are the main difference. And as Carlos mentioned, or Marcelo, the 5 stars especially are very well prepared for incentives and even for congresses, some of them. So that's about the hotels. Yeah, and which one I prefer, if you are about to ask me? Well, the Meliá, of course, will be one of the best because half of the rooms have direct view to the falls. So you could actually wake up, and if you have the curtains open, you will see the falls. That's for half of the rooms of the hotel. The other half will face the gardens, let's say. But then one of my preferred outside the park is Lois Suites Iguazu, because it has like the infrastructure and the architecture of the hotel reminds me to Asia, because it's in the jungle and you have like bridges connecting the different buildings of the hotel. It's a very nice experience as well. Of course, the Meliá will charge for that view that I mentioned. So the rate of the Meliá is, of course, one of the highest, if not the highest, in the Argentina side. Yeah. So that's for the hotels that I would like to mention. Now we will move on, talking about this, the location. There is a map here that we will share with you. There is a link that will share, not all of them, but will show you the location of most of the hotels and most of the attractions that we have been talking about. So there Marcelo is showing the locations. That's the 2 hotels inside the national parks. Those are other hotels located outside the park, as well as the different attractions. So if you go through this map, you will be able to get to know where everything is located. So I think it's a great gift for you to get to know the place.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
so
we prepared
those are the national parks. So Marcelo will take over. Yeah.
Thank you. We prepared this for you to make it easier to locate where are the national parks, where are the hotels, also the attractions that we mentioned, also the night attractions, and plus as a plus the restaurants we talked about. One thing that is crystal clear is Iguazu is a natural. It's surrounded by nature. And this is something that it's very difficult to have it. This very untouchable nature, along with a very good infrastructure. So let's keep this in mind, and let's move on. And by the way, I'm gonna send this. We're gonna send this link for this map to everyone, so you can use, you can share. You know, it's our gift for you. And let's talk about gastronomy. My favorite subject, as I always say. Okay, I received here a message saying, what's my favorite hotel? I think if I was talking about the Brazilian side, of course, Belmont is the top one. And for the Argentinian side, I think there's some very good options, but I'll try the Awasi because, you know, I like the lodge style, luxury, of course. So that's it. Okay, we have a few restaurants, good restaurants actually, in both sides of the border. On the Brazilian side, we have a list, all kind of foods, Italian foods, international food, Brazilian food, some good hotels inside the some good restaurants inside the hotels. Like in Belmont, you have like a 5-star restaurant, like the IP, a very traditional like Itaipu. In Casa do Chef, it's different. In here, I know that Carlos is a very known cooker, and I want to know from Carlos, which is your favorite restaurant in the area?
Yes, well, as you said, there are many options for all tastes, all kind of cuisine. But yes, my favorite is Casa do Chef. You know, Casa do Chef because it's actually It's not a restaurant. It's a closed door restaurant, put it that way. Only opens by reservation. The chef actually is a good friend of mine, Fabio. I am one of the ones who convinced him to do this project. He was the former chef of Belmont Hotel, and he's now opened his own place, his own house. He built small, relatively small. It can go up to 80 people, with his garden, swimming pool, and so on. And he does kind of experience, a culinary experience, where he's not only cooks, but he explained, I mean, how this dish, this special, always Brazilian dishes, how this Brazilian dish has been created, how it was created, when, what is the influence, etc., etc. So it is a nice trip around Brazilian gastronomy, and he's a character himself. So yes, Casa do Chef definitely is a place I always go when I go to Iguaçu with friends, with families, with groups. And Fabio is an extraordinary entertainer as well. He also plays, and you know, it's fantastic. Yes, Casa do Chef.
Good. Let's go for the Argentinian side with Martin. Martin, I have here a list that we offer to our clients. I have my own pick, but I want to know about your pick in terms of your favorite cuisine and your favorite environment for a restaurant.
Yeah, so, well, talking about the restaurants in Argentina is pretty much similar to the options are in Brazil. So there are good options from smaller ones to bigger options. My favorite will be La Rueda, yeah, which is not listed there, but is my favorite. Is located in Puerto Iguaçu. But then you have all these other options for Italian and international or even steak, which is very, very good here in Argentina. La Rueda has the special thing that they offer a mix of international and local. And by local, I don't mean Argentinian, but I mean from the province of Misiones, where Iguazu is located. So it's the food, they prepare lots of dishes that they are used to have that you won't be able to find in Buenos Aires, for example. So this is the gastronomy in this area is shared between a little bit of Paraguay, it has a little bit of Brazilian, so it's a mixture that is typical from this area, and they prepare it very well. There are lots of local fishes that you can cut here in Iguazu or Paraná River in this area, which they prepare very, very well in a very nice way. So I would say that's my preferred in the Argentina side. And also the Argentina experience, which I mentioned before in the nighttime activities. But well, the options are good, and they are there for you to choose. So now talking about the border crossing. So for those that usually ask if they need a visa to do the full day tour Argentina, if they are staying in Brazil, or the other way around, if they need a visa to cross for 2 or 3 hours to Brazil, well, yeah, they need it. They need it if this is a requirement. So you need to check with the local authorities from each country in your country if you need or not a visa, and which is the way to apply it. In some cases, an electronic visa. In some cases, is a consular visa, which takes more time. But if you are going to cross from one country to the other only for a few hours, you will still need that visa if it's required for your nationality. Yeah, so that's important to mention. The border crossing is something quite easy that our staff there do every day, several days, several times per day, lots of times per week, and in the year, you can imagine. So it's a quite easy thing that usually will take around 30 minutes or 40 minutes in total. Of course, if you are in the middle of a peak season of a national holiday, could take a little longer. There are different lines, one from local people crossing to the other country, and there is a line for tourists, for vehicles, buses, vans that are with tourists. So there's a special line for them. They will check the passports, they will check visas if needed. Usually the guides get down with a list and with all the passports, and the passengers don't need to get down from the vehicle in most of the cases. Sometimes if there is a special warning or something, they might ask everyone to get down the vehicle, but that's not what happens usually. So as I said, it takes about, let's say, 40 minutes. So if you are going to cross to see the Brazilian side and you are staying in the Argentina side, you have to consider, our guide will consider this time. So they will pick you up at certain time with enough time to make the customs and migrations and everything. And of course, they need to take the passport. That's a must. The guides will advise it anyway, but you need to have your passport in order to cross. Small note, as Marcelo mentioned, the border crossing to Paraguay, it's also easy, but it usually is more crowded and it takes more time. And that's basically, it's not for tourism, but there is a lot of trading. So there's a lot of people taking goods from one place to the other, and that makes it a little more slow, let's say. So that's about the border crossing.
Very good. And this is the location, right?
Yeah, and that's indeed, in this map you will see what I mentioned before, that also Paraguay is very close. So there is a point, a viewpoint there that Marcelo is showing in this picture. This is in the Argentina side. It's called Punto Hito Tres Fronteras. It will be three borders point. So from that place, you will be standing in Argentina and you can see Brazil and Paraguay divided by these rivers. You have the Iguazu River and the Paraná River, which are dividing the three countries. Yeah, so that's where Iguazu is located.
Thank you so much, Martin. Well, that's about it. That's the whole information. We are running out of time already, but I just want to mention about our company. We are passionate for what we do, and we are very grateful for the fidelity you have with us, and also on supporting us even in these hard times. And we're here on the same way at your disposal to support you on all your needs. And we always like to say that this is a one-stop shop company. We can have all South America on your hands with Condor. So from one point you can move to the other point very easy with the same company, with the same level of treatment, level of service, and this is what we consider at most. Finally, I would like to say that our concerns about our services and your clients in your development as a company. So Condor Travel has already our own biosecurity protocol, which we will explain deeper next week. But we didn't wait. We didn't wait for the others. We didn't wait for the government. We decided to make a movement on behalf of our clients, on behalf of your business as well. So Condor Assistance as well. We are preparing something very special. I won't anticipate nothing here. Our 24/7 services in all countries that we serve. We are here to offer you tools for training and development, like the South American Academy, the South American Visuals, and of course, the benefits of scale. We are a big company. We are very strong. We have a very structured company, and then we can say that we can get the best deals for you. And of course, we're here for all you need to have. So I want to thank you so much for your attention. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Inez, Maria, Maru, and all the Condor family.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. Thank you very much, Martin, Carlos, and also Carlos, the other Carlos and Sebastian, who have been backstage answering all of our questions. As said before, we have our Condor Travel Academy. Oh, Sorry, I'm gonna share it with you. 1 second, please, bear with me. There, we should have it now. Okay, so if you do want access to the South American Academy, please fill out the form that we've posted on the Q&A section and or ask the manager of the sales manager of your particular market. So here are their contacts. Sorry, my computer is playing games on me now. Okay. Here are the contacts for the different market managers there are. We will be sharing this presentation as well as the recording with you in a few hours, so you'll have these details handy for when you need them. Also, we do invite you to visit our landing page for the webinar series at condortravelcontent.com/post/webinars. Sorry, there's a mistake here. The dash ES shouldn't be there. I'm gonna take care of that before I send it to you. There you can have access to all of our previous webinars from Galapagos, Classic Peru, Patagonia, and so on. Shortly, you will have this webinar on Iguazu uploaded there. And next week, you've said it already, Marcelo, we will have a topic that we know it's on all of our minds, and it's the biosecurity protocols. We will have Ángel Grandes, our operations manager, sharing all the protocols that we have been working on, as well as details protocols that the different countries have been working on. And we would love to have you join us and let us know all of your concerns and doubts so we can continue to work on these protocols that we are sure will be an evolving work. So please do register. The registration link is also posted on the Q&A section, so you have access to it now. Registration is now open. And that's it from us this week. Thank you very much. We hope that you've had a great time traveling to Iguazu with us. And thank you again, guys, backstage, and Martin and Marcelo and Carlos and everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.